Hello everyone, my name is Ngurah Firdaus, and today I'm gonna tell you a story about my one of my favorite book named The Star Shepherd. So, once in a quiet valley far from the busy world, there lived a humble shepherd who spent his days tending to his flock of sheep. But unlike other shepherds, this one had a special connection to someone far beyond the fields, like the stars. Yeah. And every evening, as the sun sank behind the hills, the shepherd would lead his sheep up to the hills, where the air was crisp, and the sky was vast, vast, and he would sit beneath the stars, watching them twinkle from a distance as if they were little sparks scattered across the dark canvas of the night. To him, the stars weren't just far away lights. They were friends as real and as close as his flock of sheep. Well, and one evening, as the shepherd was walking with his sheep, he noticed something strange. The stars in the sky were glowing brighter than usual, and they seemed to be moving slowly, almost as if they were falling from the sky. His heart raced as he watched the stars distance lower and lower until until they were hovering just above the earth. He knew he had to follow them. As the shepherd made his way up to the hill with his sheep, the star floated closer and closer. One by one, they gathered around him, each one glowing softly like small lanterns in the night. For a moment, he stood in awe, unsure of what was happening. And then he heard a voice that seems to come from the stars themselves. "You are the star shepherd," the voice said gently. "We have come for your help." The shepherd was stunned. He had never heard of the star shepherd before, but the voice continued, explaining that the stars had lost their way. The night was growing darker, and without the stars in their rightful places, the world would fall into shadow. Only the star shepherd gi- could guide them home. The shepherd understood. He was the one chosen to help the stars to find their way. And so he began his task. One by one, he helped the stars float back to their places in the sky. Some stars needed a little more help. They were blown off course by the wind, or they drifted away from their constellations. But the shepherd, with a great care and patience, guided each one back. It wasn't an easy task. The stars were tricky, sometimes stubborn, and the wind would often pull them in the wrong direction. But the shepherd knew that it was his responsibility to keep them on track. With every stars, he returned to its rightful places. The sky grew brighter. The constellation began to shimmer, their patterns clear and strong once more. As the last stars was returned to its home, the night sky lit up like never before, sparkling and alive with a light of 1,000 stars. The shepherd stood on the hill, gazing up the sky, his heart full of joy for the first time. He didn't just see the stars as distant light. He saw them as a part of a grand, living tapestry. A tapestry he was now a part of. From that day on, the shepherd wasn't just known for caring for his sheep. He was known as Star's shepherd, and the one who guided the stars when they needed help. And whenever the night sky seemed especially bright, the villagers would whisper that the shepherd had been out, guiding the stars back to their places. And sometimes, when the night is quiet and wind is still, if you listen closely, you might hear the soft whispers of the stars themselves, calling out in thanks to those shepherds who made sure they would never lost again. And that's all for me. Thank you very much. Bye.